Hi, I'm Cameron. It's been a little while since the last time that we talked, and maybe for you it's the first time. But for me, it's definitely not the first time. It's probably not the last time I'm gonna make a video like this. It's kind of the whole point of the YouTube channel, the whole making a YouTube video to talk about how I'm feeling thing. When I first started, it was spur of the moment. Now it kind of just comes naturally, as if grabbing a camera and venting everything I feel out in the world is the way that I cope about things. Coping, as the kids say, is a negative term, but for me, I like to think of it as a positive term. This bit needs to move on. I'm making this video because, once again, I find myself at a crossroads. A crossroads, quite frankly, I'm getting sick of being at and would like to move on and progress with my life at this point. I hate my job again. For you long-time watchers, that's a phrase that harkens back to the beginnings, to the first arc of the Cameron saga, the pre whatever else happened saga. So let me paint you a picture as a grown 26-year-old man whine about my job on the internet. A customer comes to the front, and this is, I'm not going to be specific. I'm not going to be specific. This is the the way this is presented is essentially how it happened, but we're not being specific. A customer comes to the counter and says, "Sir, I would like to buy this sandwich." And you say, "Okay, here you go. Here, just with my hand, here you go. Here's your sandwich." And your job is selling sandwiches. You work at a sandwich shop, Subway, if you will. Maybe not Subway, you're not selling cake, but a sandwich shop. You're working at a sandwich shop, and a customer comes up and says, "I'd like to buy this sandwich." And you say, "Okay, here's your sandwich." And it's pre-sealed, it's pre-wrapped, you didn't make it yourself or anything like that. It's just a sandwich you pulled off the shelf from 7-Eleven in Japan and says, "I want this sandwich." And you say, "Okay." You sell them the sandwich. Go home. Go to bed. You get a text. Now, I work overnights, so it was at about, noon, but for those of you who don't want to do conversion rates in your head, let's say you get a phone call or a text message from your boss at 3 a.m. on your day off. It's the weekend. It's the weekend as I'm recording this for me. Yippee. So, it's not just a call or a text. It's a group chat message. And it goes, "Someone working during Cameron's shift sold this customer a sandwich. I worked so hard to make sure that that specific sandwich that we didn't tell you about was never meant to be sold at this sandwich selling shop. I worked so hard. Now guess what? Another customer, the same customer you sold that sandwich to, well, guess what? He doesn't want it anymore. So you have to give me $2,000 to replace that sandwich." So I see this. And I think to myself, I bet if I don't say anything, this is going to get taken care of. But I'm mad, obviously. I don't think I need to elaborate on why I'm mad. I don't think it's anybody else's business. Let's say there's a problem here. I don't know about you. Okay, I have a friend with I have a friend I have a problem with. Okay, let's see here. Do I A, "Hey friend, I have a problem with you. We should talk this out." Or B, "Hey, all of my other friends in the group chat, I have a problem with my friend, and he better give me money or I'll fire him." Okay, so I'm mad. So what do? I give him a call. Give the old boss a call. Boop. They answer on the first ring like they've been expecting it. First ring. First ring. First ring.
I already took care of it.
Okay, so is everything... Hangs up on me.
Hangs up on me.
Ooh, okay. Okay. And so I text, everything okay? Is everything fine? 20 minutes later, I get a text back. Yeah. That's how it's spelled. Y-E-A. Yeah. That's all I hear. That's all I hear. A man doesn't go out into the Japanese wilderness for 2 weeks full of disgust with the circumstances occurring at his place of establishment and comes back only for those problems to get worse again. This is the part of the video where I could sit and I could complain about hyper-specific things, but I think that gets to a point to where that there's that whole thing where you're not allowed to complain about your place of work on the internet or whatever. But I feel like if you're not being specific, it doesn't matter, which is why I'm not being specific. Nobody knows where I work, even though you can very easily narrow it down. Either way, complaining about the rest of it is besides the point. I feel like that one example of what I'm mad about right now, that this is but another of the many problems I've been dealing with at my job. Now, it raises that question again. Why do I keep putting up with this stuff? Why do I have these jobs that I hate so much? And I just go around it in my head over and over and over again. It's like, well, maybe if I got a job at Walmart and I was just stacking shelves all day, just put my head down, stack shelves. The pay is decent. They got, PTO. They got benefits. They pay for your college if you can go back to school. Like, big, massive, long list of things that this company does. Maybe I could go to Costco. You get a free chicken bake. Maybe not free. Chicken bake every single meal. I got my 15. Go grab a chicken bake. So why do I keep ending up in these circumstances? They're so horrible. They're so terrible. They infuriate me to no end. And my job isn't hard. It's really not. I really don't think I have a difficult job. But even in a circumstance where the action itself is trivial, being surrounded by incompetent people makes that action suddenly the worst thing in the world. I'm not sure I'm going to get the specifics on it, but there was a saying I heard one time that was essentially, it takes 6 people to do one person's job. So the idea of it is that the extra stress that comes from having that team dynamic and having that lack of communication is enough to the point to where the work of one person doesn't get taken care of properly because the 5 other people there that are doing that. So let's say, theoretically, maybe there's something about the situation I'm not looking at specifically. Maybe the sandwich was marked as don't sell, and nobody made sure to tell me the sandwich was marked as do not sell. Now, is that my fault for not seeing do not sell, or is that the person's fault who was supposed to tell me to do that, and then the reason that person didn't tell me to do that is because their boss didn't say something, and so on and so forth? It's a symptom of a greater issue. These little bits of miscommunication only occur because of the problems at the very top of the chain. Now, it's easy for me to say, I hate my boss, it's all their fault, obviously. But I think it'd be ignorant to act like that's the full story. Like, there's bits and pieces of everything. But at the end of the day, the problem fundamentally is that I can't stand to be in an environment where I'm working with incompetent people. And when I say incompetent, I mean, let's say you're on a baseball team and you have somebody who is a batter and he can't hit pitches. You don't keep him on the team. You replace him with somebody that knows how to do their job. And so I can show up, I can give everything that I have, even the instances where maybe the job is going to be difficult. But if I'm still in that constant cycle of, hey, why are we running out of sandwiches for a sandwich shop? And the response I get is like, don't you dare question me, or you're gonna, if you have a problem with that, well, the door's right there. like, why phrase it like that? What is the point of threatening my livelihood? Of saying if you don't agree with what I say, find another job, when they're so reliant on me to get the work done. Like so reliant on me too. I mean, like worshiping the ground that I walk. Even it's like, why is threatening me by saying go find a different job what they want to do to fix the solution instead of having a proper conversation on how to fix the problem? Do they want me to quit? I mean, if you get like docked pay, or if you get less shifts, or if you get demoted, that's basically their way of saying yes, you should quit. But I'm saying that like 1 minute it's thank you Jesus Cameron Christ, you've saved us, and then the next minute it's like, are you fucking kidding me? I hate you. How dare you not know how to do this thing that we never told you about? Like, why would I want to be in that environment? And it feels like this is just every environment. Am I missing something here? Am I just working in the wrong fields? Like, genuinely, I'm genuinely asking here from those of you who made it this far into the video for advice on this, if you know. Like, if I go to Walmart or something, is that going to fix the problem? Like, if I go work at a construction site, is that going to fix the problem? If I go work at a factory or something where I just, like, I just football parcels into a chute for 8 hours a day, and then by the time I'm 30, I have like arthritis in my wrists or something because of how much physical work I do. Is that better than this? Or is this just the job? Is this just how jobs are? Am I just stuck in this constant cycle of suffering because I do my job too efficiently? And the very first video I made that got really popular and people were like, this guy's great, you should make more videos and stuff, when I quit my job, the dramatic I quit my job today video that got a bunch of views, I made some type of point where I was gonna say penalized and punished. I was penalized for doing too well. My supervisor didn't like me because I showed up, I didn't say anything, and I did my job, and I was the best at it. They told me, your 60% is better than most people's 100%. You have the best metrics out of everybody in the whole company, like countrywide. I got told that, and they hated me. They like talked so much trash about me behind my back. So, is that just how it is? Do people just fundamentally have this innate desire to always like, oh well, that guy over there, he's the best guy ever. Well, we hate him. We're going to worship him when he's right there in the office, but the second he walks out of the door, I'm blowing his phone up at his 3 a.m. to tell everybody that he sold a sandwich at a sandwich shop. I talked about this to my friends, and they were like, Cameron, I've known you for 10 years. This is the stupidest thing you've ever told me. That's like, somebody said it was worse than my last job, the call center. I hated that. I would rather die than work in a call center again. Those of you who work in a call center probably feel the same way. If you work in a call center right now, the best advice I ever got was from my new supervisor at the call center before I got transferred. I asked her, what do I do to improve my life? And she said, quit. Get out. Get out while you still can. That is what she told me. That is a true fact. It's a true fact right there. So, I'm just at a loss now because I show up every day, I do my job correctly, I get compliments from the customers about how good I am at doing my job. There's even reviews. You go check Google, there's reviews being like, Cameron was the best guy ever. And responses being like, we'll make sure to let Cameron know you said that, thank you so much. I sure as hell didn't hear anything. I had to see that randomly scrolling through Google when I was bored one time. But we're a family. We stick together until we don't want you to be at our place anymore because you're unwilling to work under unreasonable circumstances. And even in the easiest job in the world, let's say that door, every time I walk through that door, I get $300, but there's a 1% chance that a robber is going to come out of the corner and then slit my throat. Do you want to walk through that door? I'm sure all of you epic bros out there that are like XD raffling about it would say, hell yeah, dude, I hate myself. I'd walk through that door until it happened. Yeah, it's really funny. We're talking like adults here for a second. But genuinely, if you work in a position where it's easy 99% of the time, but there's a 1% chance that you'll die randomly and it's out of your control. Would you want to do that? And then the longer you stay there, this gets statistically higher. It goes from being 1% to 2% to 4% to 8% to 16%. I can do basic math. Please be very impressed. I didn't do well in math in high school. That's probably why I have this job. But are there jobs? Please, I'm begging you, where this just doesn't happen. Is there a job where I can put my head down? I don't have to I could be like, hey, Jim, morning, Randy. How's it going, Sarah? I'm going to go stock shelves for 8 hours and get paid a livable salary with benefits. And I'm set. I mean, this current job doesn't even have benefits. I mean, cherry on top. I went to Japan for 2 weeks. There's her answer to that riddle from the last video. I went to Japan for 2 weeks. I come back, it turns out, oh, hey, we didn't have PTO for you. We had 40 hours, not 80 like we told you you were going to get. So if this is how it's going to be when a major life event happens, like a trip for 2 weeks to a foreign country, and I come back and I don't have the money I was promised, and now I'm getting text messages at 3 a.m. saying, I demand that you give me the money for the sandwich that you sold, that the customer bought. What's going to happen later on? What if, I have to go to the hospital? Are they going to be like, if you don't check out of the hospital even though you're missing a hand, we're going to burn your house down? What am I going to do if, a relative passes away or something? I have a wedding for a relative coming up that's very important to me. I know I talk about how much I hate people, but I care about this relative. I have a wedding coming up for that, and I mentioned to my boss, hey, this is the month this is going to happen in, and she said, that's too bad, because you're not leaving again. We need you. Is that a joke? Because after coming back from Japan and finding I literally don't have PTO that I was promised. Yeah. So, as much as this is just me ranting about something that made me mad, which at this point kind of just is the point of this channel, and why I imagine most of you are here right now, especially if you made it this far, what do I do? This is not only just a rhetorical question about why can't I find a job I don't hate, but a literal one. Please, give me recommendations. I can follow my dreams, but I gotta pay rent. I got bills. I gotta pay. I gotta work every day. Like the rest of us adults who just kind of get used to misery and then are satisfied in wallowing in that misery. And then we commiserate, which is why people watch these videos. But I want to be better. I want to not hate my circumstances. So if there's anything that anybody would recommend where my phone doesn't get blown up at 3 a.m. demanding money, and then when I call for information, I get hung up on with no explanation, what am I supposed to do? Oh, and the offhand chance that for some reason, anybody who knows me watches this video and knows what I'm talking about, you can go fuck yourself. I mean it. I mean it. Yeah, it's a bit petty, but if there's one thing I've learned in my life is that it's good to be a little bit petty. If you always have that kindness in your heart, if you always have that empathy for other people, you get eaten up. And it's good to always have that. Somebody told me once, and I did a double take because it's a quote from Dark Souls or something. Not on Dark Souls, Demon's Souls. And I said the apostrophe, you have a heart of gold. Don't let them take it from you. And I remember I did an open mic thing when I was in high school, and the guy who was in charge of the event, he came over to me, he put both of his hands on my shoulders, and he said to me, Cameron, you have something that nobody else in the world has, and don't let anybody ever tell you that you aren't special. And I still think about that, you know? I don't want to become the type of person that doesn't care about other people. And I think working in these extreme circumstances where you're not treated like you're a human being, where the person at the very top of it can have the worst day ever and then treat you like a punching bag and throw you out in the street, but then beg for you to come back every single day. Like, please, please, I need you, but I'm also gonna stab you. Like, what is this? Like, that girlfriend I had in high school for a week who didn't respond to my texts after we started texting, or didn't respond to my texts after we started dating, and I broke up with her a week later, and then she wanted to get back together. Like, please, I need you. We're adults. I'm a big boy. I'm like 2 years out from adult diapers, dude. We're up there. So, what do I do? What do I do? I don't know. That's why I come to you guys for help, to feel better. Because I don't know what else I'm supposed to do. I tell them what's wrong. They ask me what's wrong. I tell them what's wrong. They say, oh, we're going to fix that. You're the best guy ever, by the way. And then they don't fix it. It gets worse. I get roped into dealing with something that has nothing to do with me and then somehow blamed for a situation that is not my fault. I didn't do anything. Anyways, that's enough from me. This is one of those big angsty teenage videos that people seem to like a lot. So, I suppose I wanted to share that with you. If anybody else is feeling similar frustrations about anything, you can feel free to let me know about it. I do read everything, and I'm not saying I'm glad you're not doing well, but maybe if other people are going through similar things, being able to talk about it and just get it off our chests helps us. I mean, that's what I do for this. That's how I feel better about it, you know? So I appreciate you watching, as always. And I'll see you next time where maybe there's a positive development. Maybe we'll make one of those positive videos that gets 10 views. I like those videos because then you guys still comment on it like, yeah, I'm glad you're doing well. So I'm still doing my best. I'm still blazing. So I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.